DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today I want to talk about your ideal person or your ideal people. We can say ideal person. Now, in the marketing world, and this is strictly a marketing conversation I'm talking here. In the marketing world, you may hear people refer to this as your avatar, or they may just call it your ideal client. And it is exactly as it is described. It's if you took all the people you ever could work with or ever have worked with, as in the people who have given you money, like your customers, your clients, your patients, whatever, who is the ideal person? Now, there may have been a person who you've worked with in the past, like a real person who actually exists, who was that ideal individual, or there may be, you never had that ideal person, but if you could kind of build them in a laboratory, like building a Frankenstein monster, who would be your ideal customer or client? Like, where are they from? How old are they? What's their situation? What challenges do they have? How do they respond to you? How responsive are they when you're telling them things? Are they following through on the things you tell them to do? Or are they abstaining from the things you tell them not to do, etc., etc.? All of that is part of building a profile of, again, what you'll hear many people refer to as the avatar or the ideal client. Now, here's the reason why you need to know who this is for you. There's a couple reasons. Number one is because when you're clear on who this person is and you come across them, you'll know that you're talking to them. Number two, so that all of your marketing and your business, everything you're doing business-wise to share your message with the world, it should be as if you're talking to that person. You want all your marketing to target towards that individual because you want to draw that person in. You don't want your marketing to target towards a person who's only like 50% of what you want, because then you're going to start drawing in people who are only 50% of what you want. So you want to be careful of your messaging, because if you're sending messages that is attracting a certain type of individual, or let's reverse engineer it. Let's say you're looking at the people who are coming into your business and you're not really feeling them. You're like, I don't really like the kind of people who are coming in my business. I don't like the kind of prospects who I'm talking to. These people are less than ideal. Instead of being annoyed or frustrated with those people because they're less than ideal, instead you should ask yourself, what am I doing in my marketing and in my messaging that is causing these people who are not ideal people to be attracted to me? There's something that you're doing that's making these people come around you. It's kind of like if you're a woman or a man and you're single and you want to be in a relationship and you're going on dates and you're meeting people, but you're meeting all these women and they're not the type of people you want to date or marry, or you're meeting all these men and they're just the wrong kind of man, and you keep meeting and dating these wrong kind of man or woman. The challenge is not, well, hey, there are no good men or women in this town or in this city, or all the men are this, or all the women are that. You hear a lot of people talk like that, right? Some of you may be guilty of using this language. Instead, and listen, the place you live, there are some ponds, so to speak, that have more fish in them. All right, we can't act like that's not the case. However, let's talk about what you have even more control over. I mean, you can control where you live. You can move very easily. But what you have even more control over is, how are you positioning yourself? How are you marketing yourself that is causing these wrong men or wrong women to be attracted to you? Because there's something that you're doing is making them say, okay, me and this person might be compatible. So if you're marketing yourself in the right way, the wrong people should look at you or take one look at your presentation or hear your message or whatever you're doing is getting their attention, and they should know immediately, okay, that's not for me. They should know, because your marketing should turn off the wrong people and it should turn on the right people. That's one of the purposes of marketing, is that you want to attract not just anybody and everybody, but the type of people who are looking for what you're selling. So any of you who's ever bought anything from a luxury brand business, any business that does luxury sales, they position themselves and they market themselves in a certain way that people who are just looking for a bargain or something cheap, they can just tell by the way that luxury brand talks about itself and its products that this is probably not the place that you want to come, because we ain't selling bargain basement stuff. This ain't Walmart. And your marketing needs to make that clear. And again, it should make it clear whatever you're looking for. If you want to be Walmart, be Walmart. All right, you can let them know we got the everyday low prices. If that's your thing, whatever it's going to be, just be that thing. And it should be based on who you want to attract. Who's the person you want to work with? Who's the person you want in your business? Who's the person you want as your customer or your next client or your next patient, whatever line of business you happen to be in. And what you need to do is take time to actually put this on paper. So whether you do it digitally, physically, but actually write down what are the attributes of the ideal person who you would want to work with or do business with or partner with, whatever you're looking for. This could be for a relationship in life. This could be for a business partnership. This could be for if you're selling products. This could be for you're in real estate. In real estate, you get a lot of different types of clients you can be working with. So who is that ideal person? You need to write it down, because when you write it down, it's going to allow your brain to kind of clear out some space. It'll give you more ideas. Write down who that ideal person is, and then all the stuff that you do business-wise should be targeted towards that ideal person. And that way you will draw in more of those people instead of more of people who are kind of just random and they don't quite match what you want or quite match what you're looking for. A challenge for a lot of business people is they never actually take the time to do this. So every once in a while you get an ideal person, but you're not doing it strategically, like to where you can make it happen. You want this to be happening in a way that you're doing it intentionally, you're doing it on purpose, rather than having it randomly happen sometimes and then other times it's not happening because there's no process, there's no rhyme or reason to it. So all of this stuff that I'm explaining, these are things that I help marketers and I help entrepreneurs with in our program, which is called Work on Your Game University. And you can work with me directly in that university. That's the only place I work with anybody directly. You can learn more about that by going to workonyourgameuniversity.com. There's a link down below in the description to this video. Again, that's workonyourgameuniversity.com, where we help people get clear on who's your ideal person, who do you want to work with, how do you want to work with them, and all the stuff that I'm talking about. We actually sit down and strategically go over this stuff so that you're bringing people into your business on purpose and intentionally, rather than them finding you randomly, which is great when they find you randomly. It's like finding money on the ground randomly would be great, but it'd be better if you could actually make the money come in on purpose, right? So that's the same thing. So workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.